afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Emerald Office. This is possibly one of the best and most important trainings that I have ever recorded, and I've decided that I'm going to open it up to the public. So non-members, welcome here. This is the core philosophy, the core approach of Full Focus. And I'm sharing it with you right now because I'm about to start my sabbatical. On sabbatical, I will be very much just focused on existing clients. There will be some new ways to work with me, but primarily my members know, I've explained, it's all about them. During sabbatical, I am stepping not away, but to the side to work on some personal development, some personal projects. I'm having a baby and moving and stuff, and to really focus in on the core essentials without, frankly, the distractions of all the other things that I do for my business. So if you are watching this, that means my sabbatical has already started or is just about to start. And this training right here, this video right here, is the overview. It's the big picture of all the things that I'm going to be working with clients on during my sabbatical. These are the new pieces of content that they are going to expect to see in the member library. This is the things that light members are going to have access to if they are logged into the app and have joined. That is always available. Joining a light membership, you still get access to me, you still get all the trainings. That will be open during my sabbatical. So I'm going to dive right in to the philosophy of Full Focus, which is kind of why I named it Full Focus, and all of the beliefs that I have about the world, such that I've chosen to do what I've chosen to do and chosen to do it the way that I do it. At the core of all of this is the Emerald Office philosophy, the Emerald Office being my larger company. The Emerald Office exists because I believe that it is possible, it is attainable to have a life that is both good and great. And what I mean by that is a life that is great in that it is impactful, it is changing the world, it is making it a better place, it matters to the people whose lives you touch. And it's a good, joyful life. You get to go to your kids' soccer games and drink tea in your beautiful sunroom and actually live a life that is joyful. This isn't the Hollywoodified success at the cost of your relationships. This isn't the terrible CEOs who push everybody out of their way and climb to the top. I'm not naming any names, but you know who I'm talking about. That is not the version of success that I'm interested in. And so the Emerald Office, on all of our platforms, on all of our initiatives, that is what we do. And Full Focus is specifically intended because the best way, not the only way, the best way that I think you can attain this good and great life, this impact and this joy, is through entrepreneurship. When you run your own business, when you make your own money, when you make your own schedule, it is so much easier. I'm not saying entrepreneurship is easy, but it is so much easier to attain that impact and that joy when you have control over all the variables of your life, which business owners generally do. You have the freedom, you have the potential. There's nobody capping, what you can earn or what you can do or what you can dream up. There's also, of course, the passion piece, the calling piece. Everybody that I work with is impact driven. They have a mission. They are really out to change their industry or change the lives of the people that they work with. They really want to see that positive vision come to be in the world. I call them visionaries for a reason. So there's the passion and the freedom and the potential. There's also an element, and this is the second big tenet of the Full Focus philosophy, which is that growth is required of you to be an entrepreneur. One of my mentors once told me that the two greatest personal development activities, or maybe he said intensives, were owning your own business and having children. Yes, I have children. Those are the things. I have a business, I have children. They both require me to grow. They require me to become better at being myself. They require me to overcome my demons. They require me to expand my capacity, to expand my vision of what I am capable of, and to rise to those challenges day after day. Becoming better at business makes me a better person. And becoming a better person makes me better at my business. And another way to say that is becoming better at business makes you better at life. And becoming better at life makes you better at business. That's that overlap that we see. That's why nothing is off limits in the full focus model, because your meal planning technique, if that's something that's constantly weighing on your brain, if we can streamline that system, make you better at getting dinner on the table, we're going to make you better at business. And in the flip side, if we can make you more effective at work, then we can make you more present at home. And that brings us to number 3. Focus is how we accomplish this life. This is how we grow, because growth is required. And this is how we create that impact and create that joy in our lives. Focus is the key. Focus, and when I say focus, what I mean is knowing what's important, knowing what we want to focus on, and having the ability to focus, having the ability to say, when I am at work, I am working and I am effective and I am getting shit done and I am productive. By productive, we mostly mean efficient here. And when I am at home, when I am in mom mode, when I am out for drinks with my friends, I am fully focused, fully present to that part of my life. Focus is the key that allows us to sort of have it all. It allows us to be impactful and effective, have these, life-changing moments that we create for ourselves and for the people that we work with, and turn it off and go to a soccer game for our kids and be chill. So we talk a lot about in full focus what to focus on and how to be more focused, what to focus on being like what things actually matter in your business, what are the simplest, most effective things that you can be doing to grow your business. How can we look at your business as a system so that we have a good overall look at everything that's going on and can zero in on those things that need our attention? And also, how do we know what we want? That's the vision-centric goal setting and planning that is central to the full focus model. We'll talk about that in a sec. Vision-centric goal and planning so that you know what are the things you're actually trying to achieve. What are the things that you actually want to see happen in the world? The second piece of that is how to be more focused. And that is about honing your ability to focus, your ability to be present. And in some cases, a lot of cases, that means your ability to regulate and calm down and manage stress and kind of have that Zen focus that we see in these really successful people. Those are the 3 core pieces of the Emerald Office philosophy, right? And I'm sorry, not the Emerald Office philosophy. The first piece is part of the Emerald Office philosophy. All of them are the full focus philosophy. You can have a life of impact and joy, a good life and a great life. Entrepreneurship is the way that you're going to do that. Entrepreneurship is going to require you to grow. All of my clients across the board, the thing that ties them together is that they know, they believe, they accept that in order for them to reach the next level in their business, they are going to have to grow. They are going to have to change. They are going to have to become the best version of themselves. And that third piece, focus is how we accomplish all this. Focus is how we cultivate growth. Focus is how we are present and effective. So that is the full focus philosophy. Little pieces of that have been shared all over the place. Like now that I've told you it verbatim, you'll see it in all the little places. But we're going to take that philosophy and talk now about the full focus approach. The full focus approach being what do we actually do and talk about in order to accomplish those things. There are 6 elements in the full focus approach. There's your client or customer or whatever. There's your vision. There's yourself. That's you. You're in there. Your support. When we talk about support, I'm primarily talking about your team, your systems, and your organization. Those are the things that make this work. Your leadership, particularly if you have a team, we're going to talk a lot about that in the context of team leadership, but when we talk about self, we're also talking about self-leadership. And then the last component is value. Value is A, money. B, it is the product. It is about the marketing, communicating that value through your message. Value is sort of the through line that connects this being a business. It's the exchange of value. So I have some little graphics to help you visualize the relationships that I'm going to talk about, and those will all show up here-ish through the magic of editing. But we're going to dive into the way that these 6 concepts are connected so that you can start to view this as like a moving system. Systems thinking is always going to be at the core of the way that we approach things here in Full Focus. So our first little triangle is going to be the relationship between your client, your vision, and yourself. Client, vision, and self is the simplest way of looking at a business. Vision is what you're out to create in the world. Client is who you want to serve. Those two are related because you're going to have a vision for the type of client you want to serve and the way that you want to serve them. Client is going to be related to you because that's your product. Check it out. You exchange value with that client to give them that product or service. And then your relationship between your vision and yourself. Right? This vision is what you want. That's going to be your message. And your message is very much focused on your vision for what you are out to create for your client, what you are out to change the world through your work. We're going to dive real quick into each one of those little quadrants. Or little, it's not a quadrant because that would be a square. Each of those corners. So we're still going to start with vision because we pretty much always start with vision here. Vision-centric goal setting and planning is like, I'm not going to say that any of these are more important than the other ones because you cannot have a 3-legged stool with 2 legs. A weak leg in a 3-legged stool is not that good. Stool is not good. So vision is not the most important, but it is primary. It is first. Vision is the cumulative view of what you are out to create in the world. And there are lots of ways that we do vision, and there are lots of ways that we use vision. I am going to focus, for simplicity here, here's another triangle for you, on the top 3 kind of visions that we're going to talk about, which is your vision for your life, what you want your life, your days to look like. That's often a, guided, almost meditation style exploration of you're waking up in your perfect life on your perfect day. Or not really, I hesitate to use the word perfect because it's not about like unattainable perfection. It's about the you version of perfect. Because the me version of perfect will never be like Instagram model perfect. Even if I post some cute photos of me on my Instagram, we're not Instagram model perfect here. So the you version of perfect day. What does your life look like? What does moving through a normal day in your life look like? What is your family and your relationships and your work and your home and your fun? What do those all look like? That's your vision for your life. You're also going to have a vision for your company. This is the more kind of corporate traditionally way that we talk about vision. This is what kind of team do you want to be having? How do you want them to work together? How do you want to lead that team? What kinds of clients do you want to work with? What, kinds of money do you want to make? That's a big deal. Where do you want to work? Do you want to have, work a fully remote team? Do you want to work in co-working spaces? Do you want all those parameters? And I say parameters very broadly, right? This is all the elements from the personalities that you want to have on your team to the way that you want to lead them, the way you want to feel as a leader. That is all your vision for your company. Do you want to sell that company in 50 years? Do you want to go on Shark Tank next year? What is your vision for your company? And the third vision, and this is really where we fully get to like the meat of your message as a business, is your vision for your client. Your client has a problem. We're going to talk more about that. just a second. These things are all interconnected. So your client has a problem, and you are leading them out of their current reality where they have this problem into a version of the future where things are better. Your vision is the how are things better. So your vision for your client is going to dictate your product, the journey that they go on, all of that. You need to have a statement about what you want for your client. I'll start. So, I already said it. I want each and every one of my clients to grow, to attain their vision, and to live a life that is both impactful and joyful. Great life, good life. That's what I want. That is my vision for my client. And there are pages and pages of journaling, because I'm a verbose person, that delineate exactly what I mean by all of those concepts and exactly what I want for my clients and exactly what I dream for them, because I do dream for my clients. Not in a like, this is what you must achieve way, but in a like, this is all that I hope for you kind of way. That is your vision for your client. Let's talk about clients next. Our little triangle for clients. Clients are all about the relationship between their dissatisfaction, or their problem, or their pain points, whatever you want to call it, their desire, what they would like to make happen, which, oh, by the way, we're hoping is aligned with your vision, because that's what you're trying to make happen for them. And then the language that you need to use to communicate that. When you are using the correct language to talk about their dissatisfaction, those are those pain points that all those marketing gurus are always talking about. When you're using language to communicate to them about that thing that they desire, that is the message. That is going to be like almost verbatim from your vision, right? I am communicating to my clients that they can have joy and impact. And then the relationship between that dissatisfaction and that desire is what you sell. It is the client journey. And now, for a lot of products in the modern consumer world, and I'm talking physical products for illustrative purposes, it's a short journey. I want to make cold brew in my fridge. Look, here's a thing that turns a mason jar into a cold brew brewer. Great. My client journey is like, buy it now on Amazon. Done. But for service-based businesses, for relationship-based businesses, any kind of helping profession, any kind of expertise profession, that is a longer journey. And you are selling them, I will walk you from this place of dissatisfaction to this thing that you desire. That's the client. Looking at this relationship between your client, your vision, and yourself, you're going to see that all of these come back to, and we're back to the big triangle at the beginning, all of these come back to the exchange of value, right? Your message is communicating your value. Your marketing is communicating your value. And your product is the exchange of something I value for something you value. If they value your product more than they value the money that they have in their bank account, congratulations, you have a sale. So that is our top triangle. We're going to move on to self. Self is probably where I spend the most time with clients. And that is because there's just less out there, or maybe it's that there's too much out there about self. And so sorting through the noise of all the like self-help, leadership guru, personal development niche is too much for people. So we simplify that. I help you focus on the things that are going to be most effective for self. But let's talk about, guys, they're all triangles. This is about triangles. Triangles are very stable. Let's talk about the self triangle. So in self, we have our three corners, which is self-care. That is taking care of yourself so that you can do all these other things that you need to do in the world. There is self-knowledge. There is the introspection and the awareness to say, this is something that is a pitfall of mine. This is a trigger for me. This is something that causes me to get derailed, causes me to lose focus. These are the things that are going to help me personally focus best. These are the things that are going to be high priorities for me. This is where we talk a lot about, like personality stuff. I'm a big fan of the Enneagram. I think it gives you a ton of self-knowledge, but also things like the 4 tendencies from Gretchen Rubin, things like the 5 love languages, things like, let's look at your past and look at when we have seen you be really effective and what was going well there, what were the parameters of that so we can replicate that, and when were you super not focused and super not productive, and how do we avoid those parameters? Self-knowledge. And self-knowledge in combination with like a baseline of self-care, where we use my self-care pyramid. Again, it's a triangle, but this isn't like a 3-corner triangle. This is a pyramid, like the food pyramid. We use the self-care pyramid to talk about maintenance, restoration, and investment self-care to get you that baseline of self-care that's going to help you grow. The 3rd corner, when we have a little bit of this self-knowledge and we have this self-care, we can really start to work on excellent self-management. And I use the term self-management because discipline can get icky. Regulation is part of this, but it's not all of it. Self-management is your ability to make yourself do things. And not just make yourself do things, but like want to make yourself do things. This is where we talk about the logistics of productivity and movement through the world. So you have this really symmetrical triangle of 3 things that are really important to you at the center of your business. You running these things, connecting with your clients, connecting with your vision. You've got the self-care to keep you going, to make you stronger, to help you grow. You've got the self-knowledge that's going to help us inform the parameters, help us figure out what structures we need to build for you. And then that self-management piece where you are able to fully regulate, where you are able to be disciplined, where you are able to have those great habits and the great effectiveness that is going to be required. When we look at the vision and the self in this triangle, we need a little bit of support. So that brings us to the first non-triangle in the full focus approach. This is more of a Coliseum. We have the 3 support pillars that we talk about in full focus. The first is the support of your team. Having a team behind you helps you get more stuff done. There's more people, there's more brains, there's more everything. The second piece of that is going to be systems. Systems are the logistical structures that you build to support you personally, to support your life so that you can focus on business, and support the running of your business day to day. Some of those systems are going to be digital, some of those systems are going to be analog, some of those systems are just going to be systems of thought that allow you to view things a certain way and move forward in certain ways. And then the 3rd pillar of support is going to be organization. And this is not always going to be that Pinteresty organization porn kind of stuff. Sometimes it's going to be like the not sexy organization. Again, the way you organize your thoughts, the way you organize your spaces, the way you organize your time. I talk a lot, and there's a whole training on organization in the app about you need to have ways to organize people, you need to have ways to organize papers/documents, and you need to have ways to organize your time. Baseline, you must have those. I also think you need a way to organize your space because space matters to brain. Those are the 3 pillars of support in your business. And this isn't just 3 pillars though. We've got those top and bottom bars. Those are going to be money. Value is going to keep showing up in the full focus approach because money and value is kind of what makes this a business. And it's what's going to make this work, right? If you are having impact and having joy, but you don't have any money, you're going to lose your impact and joy. You're going to lose your ability to survive and pay bills and stuff, and B, your ability to magnify that impact. Because yes, we can be impactful on a small scale without money. But when we have money, it is that support that allows us to magnify our impact, to reach more people, to help more people, to bring more people to that thing that they desire, that we have envisioned for them and they have envisioned for themselves. Those are the pillars of support. We have one more little triangle to explore, and that is specifically about the team. Systems and organization, we all know what I'm talking about when I talk about systems and organization, and those are going to be very individualized. But we have this entire pillar here, the team, that we want to make sure we are leading really effectively. And that is going to be very interconnected with self. Particularly self-management plays a huge amount into our ability to lead. Self-care and self-knowledge are supporting that self-management. But if we are not managing ourselves well, if we are not able to regulate ourselves, we're going to have a really hard time running our team effectively. And for most of us, we don't just want to get shit done as a team. We want a team that is empowering people. We want a team that is making their lives better. We want a certain level of camaraderie with our team. We want to be like a good leader, not just like a shitty boss, right? So, as a leader in the full focus approach, we've got 3 things. Welcome to your last triangle. The first is going to be team management, and that is where we connect directly with self-management. When you're able to manage yourself well, when you're able to be productive, when you are able to install the systems and organization and support that you need to function personally, it is much easier to extrapolate that out to a team, to have processes and procedures and ways that we get things done. That is all management. We kind of know what management is, right? That is the president of the company. The second piece is going to be vision. It's back because it's really important. Vision here is primarily vision for your company and vision for your client. Those things, you as the leader of your team, you are the curator and the caretaker of that vision. You are the one who is saying, we are the Emerald Office and we are out to do this. That is one of your main jobs. That is the CEO position, right? When you have president and CEO, president is like managing day-to-day operations, unless there's a COO. We don't need to get too far on this. And CEO is in charge of the vision, in charge of the future, in charge of the growth of the company. So you are the curator and caretaker of the vision for your company. The third piece that I think is fairly unique to the full focus model, it's not that no one has ever done this, it's that no one that I am seeing is doing it in the way that I am doing it. Team knowledge as a core competency of the leader. What I mean by this is that just like we need self-knowledge in order to understand how we're going to manage ourselves best, how we're going to be able to take care of ourselves best, how are we going to best self-actualize, you need to have a knowledge of your team. And I particularly mean this when you have a small team, when you have less than 10 people on your team. Team knowledge, your understanding of the communication, the needs, the desires, the fears even of your team. And this is a tool. This is why I bring in the tool that I love, the Enneagram, a lot with my clients. Knowledge of your team is that third point on our leadership triangle. So the leadership and self triangles, we kind of slot them underneath support because they are related to support, right? You are going to be using that system and organization to keep your self-care going and to help you self-manage. You're also going to be using that team and those systems, again, to support your team and their management. So that is the connecting piece. All of those things together are the full focus approach. And so each of these things that I mentioned, kind of each of the corners that I mentioned, are going to be areas of focus that I'm working through with you guys in the membership for sabbatical. We are going to be in depth. We'll pull on old trainings. There will be lots of new trainings on each of these triangles and each of these quarters so that you can make sure that all of these elements that we've talked about, a lot of them we've talked about in one-on-one coaching, because we've talked about like how do we self-manage, and we have general things to back you up, but we're going to talk more about how these things work together in a system. These sabbatical trainings are going to be like the core of everything that is important to the way that we run our businesses. We are going to really dial in on these core pillars, these core corners, whatever you want to call them. I'm getting real cutesy here, guys. That is what we're doing on sabbatical. Well, I'm on sabbatical. It's going to be a very like all eyes focused inward into the membership, right? We're not going to be paying attention to what's happening outside the membership. At least I'm not. You guys are welcome to. But you can kind of think about this next year of my sabbatical as a crucible type of year where we really, really dive deeper into each of these individual pieces, these 6 core pieces: the client, the vision, yourself, the support, the leadership, and the exchange of value. I am kind of super duper psyched to start this with you guys. These will all be assigned to different months that we are deeply exploring them. A lot of the trainings will be available like day 1 of the sabbatical, so that if you want to read ahead, you can. For people who are not currently members, please take a look at Light Membership. I will be opening, those doors will remain open. If you join Light Membership before sabbatical starts, there will be special bonuses available only to those people. Once sabbatical starts, there will be no bonuses. There will be no special treatment. You will just get like the normal Light benefits, which will include all these trainings. But there are some extras for signature and sort of before the doors close Light members. So I'm excited about sabbatical. Not just like because I'm taking like a step away from certain parts, like I'm delegating a lot of like gross admin-y stuff during sabbatical, but because I get to do the like core work of Full Focus with you guys. I don't know that I've ever codified my approach in the way that I just did for you guys. So let's get to work.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Tolis. Subscribe for content about a sustainable lifestyle, life design, self-care, household, maybe a little bit of parenting, and primarily entrepreneurship. I'm inviting you to download the free Full Focus app. It is available on Apple or Google, and that is going to give you access to all of our free business content. It's going to give you a look at our membership program, and it's going to give you lots of different resources on how to build a business that supports the life you want to live, where you get to have the good and you get to have the great. Go ahead and give me and the Emerald Office a follow on Instagram. Find us online at www.theemeraldoffice.com, and I can't wait to see you again.